Welcome back once again to howtocookvegfood.com. If you haven't already, please click that button and subscribe to our channel. On the menu today, and as you can see right here, really big, huge pot today. We're making a vegetable biryani. So we've got some beautiful vegetables in there, some lovely rice, all layered up nicely, some beautiful flavors in there, absolutely delicious. Takes a little time, but really worth it. Let's go and do it. Okay, so we're gonna do this in steps. The first step we're gonna do is make our vegetable curry. And before we move on to what vegetables we are using, I just want you to see a few essentials. So we're gonna need like equal parts of onions and tomatoes. And then either a curry powder, you can use a mixed curry powder, or like me, I'm using separate powders, equal parts of chili, cumin, coriander, and turmeric. And then here I've got garlic ginger paste, some fresh chilies, and then some whole garam masala. Now you could be changing this to how you want, but what I'm using today is green cardamom, cinnamon stick, dried chili, cloves, and bay leaf. But of course you could be adding many things to that. Fennel seeds, cumin seeds, so many different types there are. So that's what we've got here, and please do remember I'm making quite a big pot of this. You might not want to make this much, so you can reduce down. So there are absolute essentials. The vegetables that you use are up to you. Let's take a look at those now. Okay, so this is the selection of vegetables that I'm using today. The quantities, again, are up to you. So I've got there some courgette or zucchini, some frozen green peas, carrots, cauliflower, potatoes, green bell peppers, aubergine or eggplant, whatever you call that. And then here I've got some fresh mint and fresh coriander or cilantro. Okay, so now we've got the vegetable we're going to be using. You saw the essentials. Let's get to the cooker. So guys, just to let you know, this pot is about 3 or 4 times bigger than the normal pot that I use for all the other stuff. It's an enormous thing. Very big. Right, we've got some oil going on in there. I'm using the sunflower oil, and we're just getting that warmed through now. And this is where we're going to add our whole garam masala. And like I say, today I'm using green cardamom, cloves, cinnamon stick, bay leaf, and some dried chilies. But again, like I say, think of some other things that you might like to flavour it. Star anise, cumin, black cardamom, fennel seeds, this goes on. So what we need to do is just cook these just for a few seconds in here. And they're going to infuse that oil. Then we're going to add our onions and our garlic ginger paste, and we're going to cook that just for about 3 minutes. Wonderful. In goes our onions. And the garlic ginger paste. About 3 minutes, I'll see you then. Wonderful. Beautiful aromas and smells coming out of here. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to just be adding the vegetables that are our hardest, so depending on your selection. In my case, we're going to go carrots. We're going to go potatoes. If you were using celery, for example, you'd get that in now. So again, let's go 2 to 3 minutes, getting some heat and flavours on our new vegetables that we've introduced. And here we go. So next stage, I'm now going to add in my eggplant and my cauliflower. I'm also going to add some salt to taste. Now I did say earlier on you can use any vegetables you like, and of course you can, but if you're making an Indian vegetable curry and it doesn't have cauliflower, potatoes and eggplant in it, it's kind of not considered really a mixed vegetable curry. So fairly essential, but like I say, you can actually just use what you want. Okay, so we're going to go again for about another 3 or 4 minutes, stirring pretty much all the time. Wonderful. Okay, now what we're going to do, I'm going to add some spices and our tomatoes. I'm holding back on the peppers, the zucchini and the peas, because I want to get the masala sauce happening first, and we're going to add them later. So let's do that. Right, we're going to go in with fresh tomatoes, chopped, fresh chili. Then those powders. Now, like I say, if you wanted, go for a curry powder. I'm using 4 separate powders. Chili and cumin. Equal parts of coriander and turmeric. Let's just give this a little mix. Now, overall, what we're looking for is a slightly undercooked vegetable curry, because remember, we're going to be cooking this again with the rice. So if we can get it cooked sort of 80% of the way maybe, that would be great. Otherwise what will happen, you just end up with a load of mush. They'll all mush down. You'll kind of cook them here correctly, then they'll go in the pan, cook again with the rice, and you'll end up with just a load of old mushy vegetables. So try and retain a little bit of crunchiness here and there. Now it's really coming together. So I'm now going to add some water. And the combination of those tomatoes and the water, after we cook this for about 5 or 6 minutes now, is going to really produce a nice masala sauce for us, you know, like a nice little gravy. Very, very watery now, but those tomatoes will help turn that into something a little bit more beautiful. Give it a stir every now and then. See you in about 5 minutes. Okay, there we go. So about 5 minutes. Still nice firmness to those vegetables. Now we're going to add those peas, those peppers, my zucchini, which I've peeled actually. I've just peeled it. Normally I wouldn't, but it had a few marks on it, so I've just peeled it. And then I'm going to add here, I've got some fresh cilantro and fresh mint in the mix. And we're going to be using more of this later as well. Okay, time for a mix here. And you can see the consistency of this. It's not very, very wet. You know, it's not sort of drowning. We need moisture, but we don't want a soup. I'm going to let that go for about another 5 minutes, giving it a stir every now and then. And that should be pretty much done. Okay, it's looking great. I'm going to turn the heat off now. And just, if you like, which I'm going to do, I'm going to go with a little pinch. Now that's considered a little pinch for this quantity of garam masala powder. But if you were making it at home just for like 4 or 5 people, literally a little pinch. I'm going to give that a mix. And what we've got here is a lovely vegetable curry. It's not super wet, wet enough, but not super wet, and is about 80% of the way there. So basically what we've got is we've got some nice give in those potatoes and carrots and so on. So, okay, let's move on. Okay, so our vegetable curry is done and complete. Next, we've got our rice. So our rice is dry and uncooked there. What we're going to do is we're going to wash that a couple of times, and then we're going to soak it for about 20-25 minutes. And as you can see, I've just got some onions right there. We're just going to fry those, set them aside, because they're going to go on top once we finish. So there we go, there's those fried onions we're going to stick on the top at the end. Now our rice, so it's been soaking for 20-25 minutes. I just drained that off, put some new water in. We're going to boil this now, but we only want to do it till it's like 75% done. So a nice little bite in it, because again, like when we made the vegetable curry, this is going to cook a little bit more in the pot once it's together. So it's just going to take about, once it reaches boiling point, only like 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, so we have all our components now. We've got our rice cooked, like 75% of the way. Our vegetable curry, as you can see, I've put a little layer in the big pot already. And we've got some fresh cilantro, coriander and mint. Simply, as you can see, small layer there of the vegetable curry. Then we're going to go rice. I'm going to put like, you know, a centimetre or 2 of rice. Then we're going to go again, vegetable curry. little bit of cilantro, little bit of fresh mint, and then we're just going to repeat the process until we use our rice and curry up, but you need to end up with rice on the top. So let me do that. So there you go, so you saw the layers go in, ended up with rice on the top. Now what I've got here is I've got some turmeric in water. Now alternatively, and if you've got the money, you could be using saffron, but this works just as well. So like a teaspoon of turmeric, bit of water, mix it together, and then we're going to sprinkle this just on the top randomly, just give it a little drizzle, and that's going to just get a nice bit of colour onto the rice. I mean, up to you how much you put on, and you can, if you want, do this with a kind of red colouring or something like that as well. I'm just going to go for the turmeric colour today. So a few more little spoons of this, and that's that. Last little bit of cilantro and coriander on the top. Then we're going to go to the cooker for the final stage. Okay, so here we are, we're back on the cooker. We're going to turn the heat on, but we're going to be quite low, not a simmer, just a little bit above a simmer. Simply, we're going to get a lid on this. Now, what you can do is you need to kind of seal it. So some people would put a kind of pastry dough around here and then actually seal it in. Some people would put a cloth over the top and then get the lid tight. Or, I mean, I'm lucky, I've got a really kind of nice hefty lid, or you can put a weight on it. So that's going to go now with the lid on for just about 6 or 7 minutes on a nice above simmer heat. Okay, and there we go. Really lovely, light and fluffy, beautiful layers of vegetables in there. That's going to be delicious. We're just going to finish this off now with a few of those fried onions. And again, when you're serving it onto the plate, a few more of those onions. Hope you enjoy that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you soon. Lots of love.